howling at us today?
We're all awake and accounted for this time.
We're alive. Alive.
So.
Did you open up the chat?
Oh. Okay. Glen Oakla is here. So today I wanted to talk about how tough Southerners really are. We Northerners think we're pretty tough, but I'm learning that Southerners are pretty stinking tough.
When it comes to cold.
It's cold.
Okay.
Freezing cold.
Single digits last night and tonight.
Yeah. And yet, 2 weeks ago, was it even 2 weeks ago? Was it last week?
Go ahead. I'm just going to ban.
Last week we had a day that was in the high 60s.
Yeah. So we thought we were going to be.
Let's see. Somebody else said, Robin Bits and Pieces said, hello, I will check out your channel after live videos. Is a whole new learning curve. The Addicted Prepper said, hello. Everybody is here. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Am I not allowed to say Merry Christmas anymore?
I don't know. Is that offensive?
Happy New Year.
I don't know. Okie Girl made it. Yay.
Hi, Okie Girl.
Hi, Okie Girl.
Crazy Days made it.
Hey, your name's Oak. I'm doing wood.
That's right. Funky Rooster made it. So it looks like if I put up the notification at like 10. Oh, Rebecca made it. Hello. I tried to call Rebecca this morning and she was not available. So what I wanted to talk about is just the cold. I'm feeling very sorry for myself right now.
It's going to be a long show, you can tell.
Back home it gets pretty cold, but it's more the length of our winter. I mean, we can get really cold. Like when I was a kid, we had negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. We had cows that actually froze to the ground.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it really wasn't cool. So it gets cold back home, but it's the length of our winter that is the big deal, because our winter starts the end of September and it goes until like the end of May. Whereas here, it felt like winter didn't really start until December. And then it's supposed to be over again by the end of February.
When we were here last time in the middle of February, and it was back to 60 degrees. So
here?
Last February, 10 months ago. It was a beautiful February time.
So, Wholesome Roots. Oh, thanks, Wholesome Roots. Let's see. Sherilyn Stanfield said, hello, welcome to the South, where if you don't like the weather, hang around a little bit. 71 week and negative 20 wind chills next. I would believe it. I haven't been outside much. Usually I would be out. One of the reasons we really wanted a greenhouse back home was because...
What's the matter, Mom?
It's just cold.
The heater will be on to heat it up here shortly.
Was because it was nice to have somewhere to work in the winter, let alone the garden and more food and everything. It was nice to have somewhere to work. And here, even though it's not as cold as it gets back home, it's still cold enough that I don't really want to go outside and work. Right?
Yep.
It takes a little bit of coaxing, a little bit of... For the most part, we have gone into town as little excursions to go see, just to see the town. John's trying to acclimate me to the road so that I can get around when he's back in school.
I'm in my mommy's dress.
It's like it works in a grid. It's actually very good.
Oh,
yeah,
Rebecca says, haha, I did get your message. We do church in the morning, and I thought I'd say hi here. Gotcha. Well, I still need to call and visit with you and see what's going on. The Addicted Prepper said Monday night here in Middle Tennessee is forecast to be down to 6 degrees. I won't lie. I'm thinking about bringing my 4 chickens inside. Yeah, I think it's that swing.
Hold them close, and you'll all stay warm together.
Right? Yeah. Don't pluck them. Just sleep with them.
Yeah, and get number 2 all over yourself.
Yeah, you totally would with chickens, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I got in it with ducks.
With ducks, huh?
Punky Rooster says...
-3. Currently?
Oh, my goodness.
That's rough.
Serrata Wood made it. Yay!
Yeah.
So I feel like at 10 degrees above zero, you start to really feel cold. Like anything above 10 degrees feels like, yeah, this is manageable. But then you hit 10 degrees above zero, and anywhere from there down, I feel like you're pretty chilly.
It's more miserable. At that point, it's like, what's the point?
Pretty cold.
The cold is the only weather now, thanks to current technology, the only weather that has no purpose at all. Think about it. Even the wind has purpose because you got windmills. Sun for solar.
There's a purpose for the cold. It kills things off. There's a reason why there's so many bugs in Florida. It is. It's true. If you don't get a certain amount of cold, for one thing, you need.
But it also kills us off.
You also need a certain amount of cold in order for apples.
Only 32 degrees in Washington State. You guys are warmer than we are right now. That's Aunt Clawfoot Farm. Apparently, I just had to force myself to go outside and clean rabbit cages.
Yeah. Greenhouses are the bomb. Right. I love having a greenhouse. Even if you're not growing in it, you can go out there and read a book and feel decadent.
Jared Colahan's laughing. 63 degrees over there. Where are you at, Jared?
So Wanda from Crazy Day said it's still above freezing right now in Mississippi, South Mississippi, that is. Right. And we were in Mississippi this time last year because we were there with Danny and Wanda for, was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, last year. Yes. We were there with them for Christmas.
Well, actually, this would have been the day we were leaving.
Well, that's pretty fun.
Right.
Or we had gotten to Florida.
Israel Rodriguez said warm tea is ideal for cold days. Yeah. I love the Republic of tea. That I had started to react for some reason to the Celestial Seasonings tea that's just in the grocery store. And so I've had to switch to the Republic of Tea, and the girls are drinking it and I'm drinking it. I feel like if there's any nasty thing in your water anyway, it's nice to drink a lot of tea in order to keep hydrated.
Jenny Kurtz, hello from Southeast Kansas.
Mm-hmm. And Judy Small, she has it right too. There are a lot of seeds that won't germinate unless they have frozen. And the same thing goes for winter apples. They have to have a certain length of time where they're actually really cold in order for winter storage apples to turn sweet and be ready to store. Otherwise, they're not ripe. Flying VS Farm, did I already read that? Flying VS Farms, biggest thing is to stay hydrated when it's cold. I agree. Oh my, Cheryl Burridge said we're negative 35 Celsius. So that's like how many above?
It's 20, 30 below Fahrenheit, 30 something.
No, because if it's Celsius, it can't be 20
multiply
below.
By 2. Multiply by 2. You got a 70-degree stretch, and then add 32 to it. You're negative 30, 35.
That can't be right, because negative 35 Celsius can't be negative Fahrenheit.
Yes, it can.
Hello, Susan. Sir.
Anyway, somebody Google negative 35.
I talked to Chelsea, and she's 35. She was 35 below, and I was 20 above. I was 18. I was 18 degrees above 0 Fahrenheit, and she was 32 degrees below Fahrenheit. At Celsius.
What is negative 35 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
Minus 35 degrees Celsius equals minus 31 degrees Fahrenheit.
Really?
I stand myself not corrected.
How can that be true?
Because of the math on it. We Americans, just seriously. The metric system is Celsius centigrade systems.
Fahrenheit, 0 degrees centigrade or Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
See,
so how's that right?
Says we're a cute bickering.
That can't be right.
That's okay. You argue with Google, and I will sit here and carry the conversation.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. Okay, did we get to the bottom? Okay, Helios made it. Paige or Kaya, can you turn down the heater, please?
Because it's cold out here. Turn down the heater.
Well,
the
funny thing is, it's a super tiny house, but we have pockets of it that are like the bathroom is freezing cold. The living room in this particular corner gets really hot, and then the bedroom with the bed in it is kind of like your medium ground.
See, Harmony Homestead just got the math on it. To convert, and I'll read it. Okay, convert temperatures Fahrenheit to Celsius, subtract 32 and multiply 0.5556 or 5 divided by 9. Exactly. See?
Off-grid Doug and Stacey said 0 degrees over here and we're falling apart.
Amen.
LOL.
It is just cold.
Danny made it. Deep South Homestead.
And Wanda. So, hi Susan.
And Susan Sullivan made it. Hello. Okay, so what else? We have our first tray of seedlings that we have planted. They have not sprouted yet. I was having a hard time with my seed starting mix. I really like the black gold. John used to have to pick up 2 or 3 bags on the way home from work back when he was working for...
Cram it into my little 2-door car.
Yeah. So that's what I usually use, but I didn't use it this time. This time I used just the crappy Miracle Grow stuff. And it wasn't wet enough when I started my seeds, and so it took 2 days for the soil to rehydrate So I don't know how well this particular tray is going to do. And we did get the hotbed built, but I don't have any water to put on the hotbed because of the cold temperatures outside. And it requires water to get it activated. You have to have, the carbon by itself will activate if you have enough of it, it'll warm up. Leaves will warm up if you have a big enough pile, but you need a really big pile for them to activate. So I'm probably going to have to find a bag of rabbit manure somewhere and put water in it and make some rabbit manure tea and see if I can get it started, because it's not doing anything right now, especially where it's dry. And it's a little bit narrower than my normal hotbeds. You really want it to be 4 feet wide as a minimum, just like any compost pile. Otherwise, it just doesn't build up enough heat. Way to go, John. Way to go. Stand your ground.
Wanda's got it. She's got my back. Thanks, Wanda.
Flying VS Farm said, I wish we were that cold. We need more snow here. No measurable precipitation as of yet, and it makes us all nervous. Oh, for sure.
Stacy. Hi, guys.
Yum. Susan Sullivan is eating
wait.
homemade chili Texas style. Okay, Judy Small said, I need some more information. I harvested last year and the year before a large quantity of pawpaw seeds that I want them to germinate. Do you mean like pawpaw, like P-A-W, pawpaw? I want to germinate them, plant new trees, but they don't seem to want to germinate. I've heard it's very difficult to germinate pawpaw trees. I've looked into it, and it sounds like seedlings. It's easier to take seedlings that somebody else has sprouted and plant them, and I believe you can get them from Rain Tree Nursery. Rain Tree, well, they're seedlings, they're saplings. Rain Tree has them. I don't remember if coldstreamfarm.net has them. Coldstreamfarm.net has amazing saplings, very inexpensive, a couple dollars a piece. And Rain Tree, they're much more expensive, but they, instead of being just seedlings, a lot of them are actually a named instead of coming up and just being what they are, instead they were purposefully, what's the word for that? They're not wild.
I'm not listening to what
they're not wild saplings. They are
kicking the table.
They're kicking the table saplings. They're, what is the word when they're grown for food purposes? You know what the outcome will be. It's not necessarily grafted. It doesn't have to be grafted, but no, because they're not grafted. Like you can get elderberries that have a name to them, and thus they're not like a grab bag of elderberries. They're a specific name of elderberry that always has the same production output flavor. Susan, I can't remember what they're called.
Susan Sullivan says 8 degrees here tonight.
Oof, yeah, it's chilly.
Okay, Wholesome Root said pawpaw seeds have to be kept moist and fresh and cold stratified. Yeah, Robin Bits and Pieces said maybe Stark Brothers from Missouri. Not sure the price. Yeah, I've heard good things about Stark Brothers. I've never used them. The Bling Gal said I also harvest my own seeds, totally organic.
Is that the word you were looking for? Cultivar?
Cultivar, thank you. Yes, cultivar is the word. So instead of having just like a seedling that who knows what they are because they came from like a wild crafted tree, instead it is like an elderberry cultivar, which would be like Thoreau or Adams or something like that. They have a name, you know what they're going to produce. Or Macintosh versus a random seed that sprouted somewhere.
13.
Oh, that's really cool.
Doug, Stacy, you know, I thought you guys had a really pretty area, and then he says a comment like 13.
Yeah, everybody tells us it's so much warmer over here. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's so much warmer over here. It won't be nearly as bad, not so harsh.
Yeah.
And now we're just like,
it's
really cold
the
here.
humidity. I think once it hits like from 50 down to like below freezing,
this is
30
cold.
is like miserable cold with the humidity.
Yeah.
Like worse than Idaho was because we're so dry.
We're
up there.
so dry that it's just, after you hit about 10 degrees, everything feels the same temperature. Everything feels the same.
But once you drop down below freezing in the 20s and teens, then it's definitely just cold everywhere. So
Crazy day.
I still like it.
It's nice here.
Beautiful.
It's nice
Dad.
here.
Yes. Yeah, Wanda's got my back.
Yeah,
So
Flying
she
VS
says
Farm
always.
said, do you keep track of what the weather is like back in Idaho? Well, we lived there enough years that we kind of know
Yeah, we're
what
like,
it would
it's
be
just
like.
cold.
It would be really, about
We already know
now,
it's winter.
January and February, you're going to have a lot of days negative 20 Fahrenheit. If we have a really cold winter, more like what it was when Paige was really little. It would have been negative 35 degrees Fahrenheit for several weeks. Lately, the coldest has been about negative 10 Fahrenheit.
20.
I don't think they hit negative 20 last year. I was talking to Amanda about it.
Oh, yeah, last year. We don't live there.
Yeah, it was a lot of
They
snow.
got a lot of snow.
A lot of snow, but not as cold.
So let's see. Doug and Stacey says this is not the normal for us, but hang on because we are in for a doozy in the next several days. Yeah, it is, and it just seems to be sitting over top the continental U.S. We had the map up, and it's all blue and purple and cold. And oh well.
Hey, Willow Creek, how are you?
Hey.
Hi, Willow Creek.
She is back in Idaho right now, so you could totally ask her what the weather's like.
Right. Willow Creek, in case you didn't catch up on the conversation, how cold is it up there? She's only, what, 2 hours south of us?
About.
Yeah.
Sherry Ellison said, gonna go through a lot of firewood. Well, and we don't have a fireplace this year. Like last year we did because we were with Danny and Wanda. And then we went directly to Florida, so we didn't need a fireplace. But as far as like being in a house, this is the first time we've been without a fireplace since Kaya was a baby.
Willow Creek
Since we moved into that.
warm. It's crazy.
Yeah, isn't
Snow
that
is
weird?
melting.
AG Survival said, I miss the foothills of Boise. Yes, the foothills are beautiful. Chad the Walrus made it. Flying VS Farm said, it's interesting that we're high desert here, but so different because we're south. Right, I'm missing things. Crazy Day said, we're glad to be in Mississippi where the weather is not as cold as you guys up north, but in the summer we envy your cooler weather. Well, that's why I think Southerners are super tough. You have cold in the winter, maybe not as extreme or as long, definitely not as long lasting as ours. But in the summer you have the extreme temperatures
and
of the heat.
Thick air that goes with it. So it's like being wrapped in a 100-degree blanket.
So you get the cold, but then you also get the extreme heat.
And you can't breathe.
So I think it will be interesting. It's nice that we don't have pipes freezing. If the pipes underneath the house are not buried, they just run under the house, right? Just directly under the floor.
Ish, yeah.
Back home, you had to have anything that wasn't in the house itself had to be buried 6 feet deep, and then you still have to run a little drip of water at night to keep your pipes from freezing in the house if you don't have a heater like in the basement.
Heidi and Patrick's both made it.
Hey, where are they?
Well, there's
there
Heidi,
we go.
and
How
Patrick
are
was up there a little
you?
bit. Hi, guys.
Jared Dijon said, adobe house with heated bench. Well, okay, these are things that I always forget to talk about. I have such a hard time getting links up, guys. And right now it seems like everybody and their cat has been contacting me to say, I have this really neat thing, everybody should try it. I have this really neat thing, everybody should try it. So I've got price discounts on Instant Pots. I've got permaculture courses teaching how to do rocket mass heaters. I've got a brand new off-grid laundry washer that has a ringer that comes with it. I've got, what's the lights? The solar lights for your garden.
Be prepared for adpocalypse.
It's not going to be adpocalypse because I just keep putting it off because I'm like, oh, everybody just got done with Christmas. And so I'm just like, when am I going to talk about these things? Because it's not necessarily that I couldn't talk about it. It's that I keep forgetting to put the links up for people to actually go there. I feel like it's a lot. I could do them all in one video and be done with it, but I don't think that the people who sent the stuff to me would be very happy with that. So, Rain Country said, I would freak out if somebody's cat contacted me. I know, but that's what it feels like right now. I literally have 2 boxes here, and then I've got the stuff in the kitchen that I've already started to use. And then I have stuff that are just downloadable things. And they're all amazing things. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told people, yes, I would try them. But I always feel like I owe them back something to make an actual good video about it. I don't. But it takes time to get the videos made. And I don't want to go outside because it's cold. So it all just cycles in on itself. It's like, I'll get to it sometime.
So that's quite the conversation going. Wholesome Roots is asking, any tips to cure the flu? Patrick jumps in. Yeah, here's a tip. Stay away from it.
Yeah, exactly. Sherry Ellison said, hey, their cat and I just got off the phone. Right? Rose said, okay, Rain Country said, Rose, have you tried elderberry syrup, especially with other herbs and spices like cloves, cinnamon, cayenne? I do like that with the cayenne in it. We've done that a lot.
I don't like it.
Oh, Okay, slow down a minute. I'm trying to read everybody. The Bling Gal said this year I canned potatoes, cabbage roll soup, pickled beets, Dylan bread and butter pickles, borscht, sweet potatoes, and froze broth. Oh, you sound like Wanda. My goodness. You are a busy girl. So that was the Bling Gals. Bling Gals, do you have a channel for people to go look at? The Bling Gals. So there's 2 G's in there.
And a Z at the end.
And a Z at the end. Sorry.
Easy spelling.
So I need to get that link in there if you have a channel because you sound amazing. Gypsy Lee, I'm here with y'all enjoying homemade bread and a hot cup of homemade Gul wine. Gul wine? Good to see you all. Good to see you. I think I've been following you a lot on Instagram lately, actually. Gypsy Lee. Hunky Rooster said, I did one video LED grow light, and now I get tons of company wanting me to try their grow lights and, of course, review them on my channel. It's hard to keep up. It's lovely to have products to try, but you do have to take the time to make the video, and it takes time to actually use it so that you know if you want to even talk about it. So I do feel a little overwhelmed right now. I guess people are wanting to, like, beef up their Januaries because December is when everybody spends their money. So, like, January is a desert or something. I don't know, because it's a lot of stuff. Doesn't it feel like a lot of stuff? Like every time I'm like, there's another box here.
It's a lot of stuff.
So much stuff.
You have kale over there? Not sure if
Let's
we're in the
see.
conversation anymore.
Flying VS Farm said Flu needs fire cider. Get it started now. Who was it? Christy from Straw Family was telling me about her fire cider. Dang it, I went all the way down. Okay, Gypsy Lee said pronounced glue wine. It's a German spiced wine served hot. That sounds delicious.
No kidding.
The
Like
bling,
wassail.
right? Like wassail.
Only like better.
The Bling Gals said, working on my website. It's called Stitch and Stashin'. I do a lot of crochet and do the bazaars. Cool. Okay, Sacred Wonder said, chaga can fix anything. I have canned rosehip syrup. Now, I've heard a lot of really good things about the chaga. So chaga is a mushroom. And I've actually seen a lot of ads lately on Instagram adding chaga to coffee, or adding chaga to, or adding like lion's mane mushrooms to tea or something like that. So I find that very interesting. It's interesting to me how little we can grow in Idaho. Now that we're somewhere where you can grow a lot of things, like, why are you snickering at me? Did somebody say something inappropriate?
No, I'm listening.
Ow,
I'm listening to what you're saying, and you just give credit to
what?
Someplace outside of Idaho.
You can grow, yeah, you can grow so many things here. Our problem is we have a lot of shade, so really we can't grow a lot of things here because of the shade. I would have to
325.
cut half of the trees down around us, or use the whole front yard that is actually the neighbor's yard, which I have permission to do, but if we're only here 6 months, if we're leaving in June and I take over their whole lawn with garden beds, and then I'm like, goodbye, good luck trying to get your lawn back. That just doesn't seem like a very nice thing to do to our Angela, our neighbor in the front.
Hi, V lady. She is really nice.
She is really nice, but I don't think she'd like that. Flying VS Farm said they got the territorial seed catalog. I love territorial seed.
Patrick got it. You asked why I was snickering, and he just said, John is just happy.
Is he just happy, or
Yes,
did
I'm
you read
just
something
happy.
mean?
No, I am sitting here.
Usually that's why you have that twinkle in your eye.
So she actually didn't bolt out of bed this morning onto the list and just bam, 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 and I'm like, oh, she likes me. I get to oh, that's so nice.
My eyeball. Ow. Okay,
So nice.
okay. Maybe Mom doesn't sit in one place very long for a reason. It's because I start to get picked at.
Right.
Okay.
Everybody.
Bee Lady made it. Bee Lady Apiary. If you want to know about bees, you need to go see the Bee Lady Apiary channel. Willow Creek Homestead said, I never heard of chaga. I should fix that. Well, I don't know where they grow it. I don't know. I know that usually we have grown mushrooms before, and it started growing in our deep mulch system in our backyard in a shady.
We weren't supposed to tell anybody about those.
They weren't that kind of mushrooms. We didn't eat them because they volunteered.
Yeah.
They voluntarily
volunteer
sprouted.
mushrooms.
But it was, and they also grew in the greenhouse in straw bales, where there was lots of manure. If it was just straw, they didn't start. But if I had a lot of manure plus the straw in a deep bed, we had all sorts of mushrooms grow.
Kaya, Susan Sullivan's asking what you're making.
I'm making
Weapons.
tubes
Always.
for I'm gonna try and make kind of a bathtub with these. There's like this soft stuff inside this, and I'm getting that out so I can make like a. I don't know what you could call it. Kind of like a little pool with these tubes. Like,
That's
with the
awesome.
water coming through.
Okay, so somebody had asked about using chicken manure. Do you use chicken manure in your compost? So I use chicken manure as mixed with straw, mixed with their bedding, and then I'll put it under fruit trees. But mostly manure from any of my poultry is just left where it is to create soil. If you want to do that, you have to go do it in a chair somewhere that isn't sounding like Morse code. Okay?
Like what kind?
Seriously, it sounds like.
You can't grow chaga. It only grows wild in cooler climates than mine. So I thought that it was like on the west coast, like in up Oregon way, that you could grow chaga because it needed to have really moist, no, honey, really moist weather, and it would need shade, just like all mushrooms need shade, not full sun. My understanding was that it was like in Oregon. Like over a rain country area that you could grow chaga.
Israel Rodriguez says I'm hungry now.
We should ask Mr. Rain. So Mr. Rain, can you grow chaga there? Because I believe your area is the area where it's supposed to grow well. Israel Rodriguez said, I'm hungry now. Yeah. Willow Creek Thompson said moist would not be Idaho. At least not southern Idaho, maybe northern Idaho.
Yeah, northern gets
but even then, they might not be
not great.
enough.
It's not like a
yeah. Okay, let's see. Kai, can you turn the heat down
chaga
again?
grows well in Maine.
Down?
Ah, okay.
Down or up?
Down a little bit, honey.
Two clicks down.
Yeah, before you know it, she'll have her own channel, right? Except it might be many years. She might be married before I allow her to do that because she is a flibberty gibbet. Rain Country said, Gypsy, it is supposed to be organic, but I do not always think to check everything. I do have it linked in my last lip balm video, so you can check it out there and see what it says. What are we talking about?
I don't know. She was talking to Gypsy.
Okay. D-Dine256 said, do you have news from the girl at the YouTube channel Road to the Farm? Why? She was just taking the holidays off was all. You're talking about Melanie. So Melanie from Road to the Farms was just taking the holidays off. Did somebody hear something different that she's not doing okay? Rain Country said I had only recently started hearing of chaga, so I do not know if it grows well here. I would think it does since we get lots of other great mushrooms here. Exactly. Sherry Ellison said, I wonder if I could grow chaga here. Serious humidity and precipitation in zone 7.
Ooh, yeah, that would be pretty ideal.
Oh, Vincent Shemps said, did you try my recipe? I have not tried it yet, but I have saved it, and thank you. So I do get excited when people send me recipes, but I haven't been cooking much. It wasn't kasori.
Okay.
And it would be a different recipe.
Hi, Sandra.
Flying VS Farm said, my cousin has me learning to dye yarn with mushrooms. Fun. Okay, Rocky Brook Farm said it's a zone 10 in Missouri. So yeah.
No, it's 10 degrees in Missouri, I think.
I thought they were talking about planting zones.
Oh, we were. No.
I thought they were because you were talking about mushrooms.
Zone 10?
I think it's a zone 10 in Missouri, isn't it? If like Oregon is a
Florida
zone
like
7.
an 8 or 9?
No.
Danny and Wanda.
Wanda,
what zone are you guys? Like 9?
Well, I thought that's what they were saying.
Either.
Okay, Rain Country said yes. Mel is just taking a little break. For a little bit. I last heard, believe they're all well though. Yeah, we saw her just before we left, and she's fine. And she put up on Instagram just that she was taking a break through the holidays. Sacred Wonder said it grows on birch trees. Interesting. But birch trees need a lot of water. They need a lot of water. Gypsy Lee said, I'm in southern Illinois in the deep woods. I've discovered about 15 different mushrooms in my woods. That is so cool. Wait, did you skip things?
Florida, zone 8B.
Okay, Rain Country said, we do not have much for birch trees, but here we have a lot of alder. Okay, so flip-flop barns. Is that what you said is 8B?
In Florida, it was zone 8B. Mid-Missouri, zone 5-6.
I just keep getting closer to the camera, don't I? Sit that.
It's okay.
See, where we are, we're zone 3-4.
Well, not here. We're like a 6-7 here. Or 5,
back
6,
home.
7. Something.
But my understanding is the optimum planting, growing the widest variety of fruits and vegetables is a 5, 6, because you still get cold enough to get apples that are winter apples to ripen, and it is yet still warm enough that you can still grow things like peach trees. So,
Gypsy Lee, that's all.
there's no way that. What
10
is
degrees.
it?
See, she says 10 degrees.
Oh, 10 degrees.
That's
okay.
how cold it is
I
in
got
Missouri.
confused.
It's chilly.
Okay.
It's like
hold
15 or 18 or maybe 20 here.
on. Mid Missouri is on 5 to 6. Okay. So perfect. So if you're in Utah, you can be in a pretty solid zone 5, and northern Utah has snow, but it also has a longer growing season than us. So there's places like Fruitvale and all sorts of fruit here and fruit there, and all the towns all the towns are named after fruit, because you can grow
fruit.
You can grow peaches, and you can grow apples,
Yes.
and you can grow pears. You can grow everything there.
Beautiful.
Is there like a
Okay, we got to
watermelon? Is there one called watermelon?
No, that's Pahrump. A place called Pahrump, Nevada has got watermelon.
Pahrump isn't a fruit.
No, but that's what they're known for.
Let's see. Is there anything else?
Not yet.
Lisa Whitmore said, I'm in Maine. What is chaga? What does it look like? I don't know. I've only ever seen that when it's been in powder form. A lot of people take it as a supplement. It's supposed to help all sorts of things. I'm not going to tell you what they are because I don't know if it works. But a lot of they're mushrooms. But I don't know. I know that they say that different mushrooms give you different benefits when you consume them. And I do think they were trying to get them concentrated so that they're more like a vitamin rather than having to eat the mushroom.
Mm-hmm. Just eat the mushroom. Have the hallucination. Call it good.
Oh, gotcha. What have we not seen yet?
Nothing. That's why I was moving to the bottom.
I like that. Rain Country said, so here's what I think when it comes to healing herbs and mushrooms. What you grow in your area is what's best for you.
Amen, Heidi.
I think that's very true.
Amen.
Like for us in our area, we grow a lot of mullein, wild, lots of what?
Gypsy Lee just gave her an amen as well.
Oh, gotcha. So in our forested areas, you can grow morels. In our straw on our own farm, we could have grown probably oyster. Is that what they're called? Oyster mushrooms, the little white button mushrooms.
Or button
mushrooms. Yeah. We could have grown those. But we grow a lot of mullein. And what? Hey, how are you? So good to see you.
It's a view as a view. Hi.
And so in the wintertime, we drink a lot of mullein back home. It's good for your lungs, and it's good for lymph drainage. And it's the primary herb that we use in the winter is mullein rather than anything fancy. And I harvest it myself and dry it, and we just use it in tea.
She says, a view says oyster mushrooms are delicious. Yes, yeah. Most fungus is really good if it's edible.
Well, it's all edible. Whether or not you die afterwards is questionable.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The ones you don't die from or hallucinate from. I've never had.
Oh, okay. Sacred Wonders is saying it looks ugly. Large black cauliflower up on the side of the birch. There's a lot of research about chaga and cancer prevention. Interesting. Awesome. Ashley Agrusa says, hi, everyone. So here's my thing that makes me a little sad is we're getting the garden started, and I'm looking at it and thinking, if we just cut back a few of these branches, there would be enough light here to maybe put in some raspberries and some strawberries and other things. The house in the front doesn't have any trees around it, and it has a good sized yard. We're under 4 or 5 trees, and we don't have any yard.
So, you're right. So it's good in the sense that for the 9 months of summer that is here,
right?
That house is hot.
Yeah, and this one
Come
is
back
cool.
to this one, nothing. I mean, it's beautiful. Maybe 83 degrees if you never turn on the AC. And so it's beautiful here, but yeah, it's a garden. Horrible.
Yeah, and so we've talked to our neighbor in front. They're not here very often. They travel a lot. They're a young couple, and the landlord has already said that I can put in as much garden as I want to, but it would be on her part of the yard. We kind of share a yard, and then she has her own front yard in the front, because we're a house in the back, kind of like a granny shack type of a house.
Mother-in-law suite.
Mother-in-law suite. And so the main yard is up in front of her house. And so if I were to put in a garden, to me, it just feels very invasive. Intrusive and just kind of awful to try and plant on her space, even though she's not here very often. Because if we leave in June, I would have to tear down all those boxes. And then I feel like it would be a mess for other people to clean up. I'd have to take apart the boxes. I'd have to figure out where to put the compost. And
just tear it apart.
And then where do I take the lumber? The next renter probably isn't going to want a boneyard like I would want a boneyard. And so at that point, then do you leave a mess for the landlord where he's like, no, I'll leave it for the next renter, and then the next renter doesn't use it. It just feels like a pain in the butt.
Tracy Y, hi from the UK. How is the video? Oh, there we go. How is the shopping at Costco going? So.
Thank you, Sandra.
Let's see. So Sandra. Costco, that was the only trip that we have made it so far. And yet we'll be good for a month until we have to go back.
Yeah, we did. We went to Costco, and then they had some things go on sale here that were really amazing. We filled the freezer up again with meat. Sandra Clark said, Happy New Year. Here's a small gift for the girls to buy a pack of seeds for their garden. Hugs and kisses, Sandra.
Thank you.
That's so kind.
Hey, look. Susan found a link for us.
Chaga, for Chaga.
ChagaMidwest.com.
Thank you.
Because we will forget that one by the end of the chat.
So we have what we got when we went food shopping, and what we've already run out of is potatoes. We still have some onions, but we run out of potatoes very quickly. So it looks like this next week we're going to be eating nothing but yams and sweet potatoes because we went through all of our normal potatoes very quickly. So yes, I'm sorry.
Good luck with that.
We're going to be eating a lot of yams.
I shall just start.
He will just start. Rain Country said, Tina, I do not know. I'm afraid I may have lost a couple more of my plants, but I did happen to find a few berries on one. We'll see how this next year goes.
You see where it says Tina right there?
What?
That was intended for somebody else's private touch.
Yoda Girly said, I will gladly send you some chaga for free. Do you grow chaga? That's awesome. Tubular Guy 9 said, hey, fine people, the mulch pile, duck box, and everything are looking good. Happy New Year. Do you have that up on your channel, Tubular Guy 9? I like your handle. Views of you said, I eat potatoes every day too. Yeah, we go through a lot of potatoes. Generally, at least 4 potatoes a day. If I cook more than that, then we eat them for breakfast, hash browns, and that kind of thing the next day. Mm-hmm. Willow Creek, she has an autoimmune disorder where she cannot eat anything that is a, what's the word? Starts with an S, doesn't it? It's what potatoes and tomatoes starch. And eggplant are. No, not a starch. Does it start with N? Nightshade. She can't eat anything from the nightshade family.
Like potatoes?
Yeah, like potatoes.
Not potatoes. Tomatoes.
And tomatoes. They're also a nightshade. And so that is hard. Like for us, we're more celiac. She also can't eat wheat, but you might want to go check out her channel if you have some dietary restrictions because they're having to kind of work their way through it too. That's Willow Creek Homestead. Thanks, views of you. Okay, did I miss anything?
Go play.
Flying VS Farm said we want to try sweet potatoes again for 2028. 2028? Right. Wow, you're planning really far in the future.
Then when you get down to the end, she says, "Oops, 2018."
Maniac Grammy's Homestead said, "Julie, what type of ducks are you getting or have? So your cage." That part of that must have been a typo. So we want to get Muscovies because they're very, very quiet and they go broody very easily. And so the males are just as quiet as the females. And the one downside, I think, of Muscovies is they don't root as well as regular, like Khaki Campbell, regular, out your hair, honey, as regular ducks. Regular ducks, the kind that really like water, they're going to root in the ground more. Muscovies don't really do that as much. But they also don't require a swimming pool the same way. They're more like chickens. They're like a cross between a chicken and a duck. They are kind of in their behavior as far as like they don't really need a pool. They'll drink the water, but they don't have to have a pool.
You know how much simpler that would make a turducken? Then you'd only need 2 birds rather than 3.
Right. But we also found somewhere with quail, I get so greedy, so overzealous when it comes to animals, and I forget that I have other work that also needs to be done, that I can't just do all of it in 1 week, because I never get one project finished.
And we end up with thousands of trees planted and thousands dying.
They shouldn't have died. Acknowledge they shouldn't have died.
They shouldn't have died. But
because I watered them plenty. We didn't know. We didn't know what the dirt.
Again, yeah, I get dirt.
The lack of
using
dirt.
that. Okay.
The lack of dirt.
What the rocks were going to do, and the rocks cannot.
And the
grow
bowls
the trees.
and the.
So yes. Anyway, okay. So on a happier news, we'll push the blue button and see what the conversation's like. See, is it Mrs. Duck Muscovy?
Okay, Gypsy Lee said, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility type, and fibromyalgia, so I watch things that cause inflammation, right? Sacred Wonder said, Julie, love the Instant Pot. Great suggestion. I know, right? Doesn't it?
Kasori is amazing.
Yeah, I was like, Kasori, we're not talking about mushrooms anymore, honey.
Right.
I forgot. The Instant Pot's called Kasori. I think I made it 3 or 4 times now, the yogurt. And it's so easy because I just put it in, it heats overnight, I take it out in the morning, put it in jars, and we're done.
I thought that today we were talking about how.
And the only inconvenience is at 4:30 when the beep happens.
I thought that the thing that we were going to be talking about was cold weather.
We were. Israel Rodriguez said, plant and harvest the like button. That was clever. Where did it go? Christy Bett said, my mom, who was diabetic, couldn't eat potatoes, but she could eat sweet potatoes. Isn't it interesting how all of our bodies are so incredibly different? Willow Creek Homestead said, if I disappear, my phone died. I'm sorry. Okay, so Susan Sullivan.
Thanks for being here.
But thanks for being here. Susan Sullivan said, more chaga information is chagahq.com. Uh-oh. Did I give the married sigh or did John give the married sigh? AG Survival said there was a married sigh in there somewhere.
What's the married
Probably.
sign?
With the turducken comment, probably. So.
Willow Creek Homestead said she needs to make yogurt. You should make yogurt. I love the Instant Pot for yogurt. Did I mention that?
The Kasori?
The hard thing is like, because they sent it to me, I can't look at it and be like, oh, I paid X amount of money. It was worth every penny. Instead, it was a free thing that now if I were to go and do it over again, would I spend the money on it? As long as it was like under $90, I totally would. If I didn't already have a pressure cooker.
Conveniently, it's under $90.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The regular price is more than that. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Oh.
That's why I can't like say, guys, go buy one. It's because they're really expensive. Yeah, they're really expensive.
They're really amazing too.
Oh, AG Survival said you both did simultaneously. Oh, we're so cute. We're in sync. Okay. Let's see. What are your plans to ring in the new year? Okay, Rebecca said, what are your plans to ring in the new year? We're eating chicken wings and toasting with sparkling cider. We weren't going to do anything, were we?
We were going to go to bed at 8 p.m.
We were going to go to bed. Should we do something fun? What would be something
get some sparkling cider?
We could get some
or just
sparkling
get some
cider.
water and watch the bubbles come up in it.
Go out on a date together?
Without you?
No.
How would we do that?
Celebration.
No, I thought you were talking about that.
Well, they could be in bed by 8
The girls
p.m.
want to go out on a date with us together. It'll be romantic. All 4 of us. Oh, so funny. The bee lady ate berries said.
If you're gonna watch it.
There you go. See, because sorry, it's often thanks Wholesome Roots. It's often on sale for $70.
Well, that's good. Do I think it's worth $70? I do think it's worth $70 unless you already have a crock pot and a pressure cooker, and a thermos. Because the thing is, you can't really make yogurt in a crock pot because the heat is too high. Like if you put it in and you have water in it and then you put your jar in it, then you have to monitor it and turn it off and then turn it warm and then turn it off and then turn it warm. So if you're going to make yogurt at home, maybe just get a really big thermos that you can put your warm milk and your start in and then close it up. If you've already got a crock pot, you've already got a pressure cooker, and you've got a big thermos, then you don't need the Kasori. But if you've been looking at getting a pressure cooker and you've been looking at getting a crock pot and you'd really like to make yogurt, I think it's a good investment. Because those are, and if you need a rice cooker, because I mean, it does all those things and I really like it. But at the same time, I love having a pressure cooker that I can use on the range, because if we were ever out of power.
Home on the range.
Because if we were ever out of power, I could still pressure cook with it. And
you mean on the stove, right?
Is that
Okay.
not what I
No,
meant?
that's
The
what you
range. It's
meant.
called a range.
Yes, and that was. This is me trying to throw you off. Did it work?
So you can do potatoes. You can bring you can steam potatoes and pressure cook them. You let them pressure for 10 minutes, and then you turn it off and wait for it to depressurize. So it only took 10 minutes of actual fuel to cook a whole meal. Which so I would replace the kasori with just like if I already had I would want to have both. Because I do like I would want a pressure cooker and the kasori.
This is the first tube. I'm putting this one together.
Amazing! It looks like a hidden weapon.
It was AG Survival says I have a what did he say? I have a crock pot and a microwave.
Yeah, you do.
I think that's good.
Jenny Kurtz said our Walmart had an Instant Pot on sale for $50 before $59 before Christmas. Still debating on getting one. I think it just depends. Do you already have the tools? It's just that it's all those tools in one. If you don't have the money and you have plenty of space to store all the tools, I wouldn't get one.
Do you believe in Black Eyed Peas for New Year's? Well, that's an interesting band to ring in with.
We like the Pink Eye Purple Holes. Those are the ones we like.
She ignores my jokes.
What did you say?
Black Eyed Peas. Like, it's a good band. It's decent.
Sorry, I was thinking of the food. Okay, what can you use? Rich Riffer said you can use a dehydrator.
Yeah, that would warm it up. To warm up your yogurt. Put it in.
Oh.
That's a great idea.
That is a great idea because you've only got to run it for like 6 hours. That's a fantastic idea. I hadn't thought of that. Living the Dream said, love homemade yogurt. We use a crock pot and it's amazing. My crock pot always got too hot. Even on the warm setting, it would cook the milk instead of keeping it at the 85 degrees or 95 degrees that you want it at. And so I have done it in a crock pot before, but the crock pot just didn't allow you to have control over what the temperature was. So it cooked it. Squirrel. Who said squirrel? Yeah, squirrel.
She didn't say squirrel.
Brown Coat Homestead said squirrel, LOL.
That's my second name. Not second nickname. Not second
AG Survival said, ever had poor man's sausage, black eyed peas alternative?
Never had one.
Is that like blood sausage?
The pea sausage?
Wait, somebody, no. You cannot skip the comments.
Well, then you must get moving on them.
Okay, Don Gowan said, I got an extra large power pressure cooker and no longer use my crock pot, so I donated it to Goodwill. It also replaced my rice cooker, and I also can pint jars in it, so it has a wonderful product to have. Yes. Well, I swear by it, but again, I didn't spend money on it, and so it's hard for me to, it makes me feel a little guilty saying, yeah, you should totally get one if you don't have the money to get it. Crazy Day said, I'm cooking black eyed peas and some cabbage from our garden. Now, if you guys haven't seen over at Deep South Homestead, they have a cookbook there. And we were the recipients of a total of about 4 weeks of eating at Deep South Homestead.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Danny and Wanda.
Oh, my goodness. So I have never liked collard greens, and I have never liked black eyed peas, and I have never liked venison, and yet we ate there better than I've ever eaten in my life. So if you want amazing recipes, go get their cookbook, Deep South Homestead. I think they have it on their Etsy store, the cookbook. I have the cookbook. It's one of like 5 cookbooks that I brought with me. So a product that I am willing to say you should totally have it is Wanda's cookbook. Her food is so good. Her and Danny's food too.
I love their cranberries.
Their cranberry sauce was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you skip down?
No, it was actually not. It was just finally.
And we just use regular milk from the grocery store. We don't have a close source of raw milk, so we're just getting, because that's just as good as what you would get if you were buying yogurt in the grocery store, but you're spending $2.50 on a gallon of milk that makes a little over 4 quarts of yogurt for the price of like the cheapest yogurt you could buy. You can make, for 1 quart of yogurt, you can make 4 quarts.
And Wholesome Roots just said it too. Yogurt is literally so easy, you're going to cry when you do it. Yeah,
exactly. It is so easy. As long as you don't add your start before the milk has cooled down, if you're going to pasteurize it. We found that creme fraiche start did better in raw milk that was not pasteurized. If we try to do a regular yogurt start in raw unpasteurized goat's milk, it doesn't turn out right. But if we use the creme fraiche start, We get it from New England Cheese Company. We take the creme fraiche start and put it in raw goat's milk that is straight from the goat after it's been strained. That works really well. It's like the yogurt start is not strong enough to combat the bacteria that's already in the goat's milk, whereas the creme fraiche start just kind of takes over the world. Brown Coat Homestead said, Danny Wanda are the best. That is so true. I'm going to say all the comments. Okay.
Huh?
Kaya, go turn down the heat, please.
This is the current conversation, so you can't like back up 30 minutes worth.
I can't keep up.
Yeah, because they're talking about making yogurt right now.
The bee lady Avery said, we still have a milkman and the cows are only a few miles away. And we had the same thing back home. We were about half a mile.
Oh, yeah.
We were half a mile from a Jersey milk herd, but we also had our own goats.
That was amazing dairy.
Having your own goats or having the dairy?
Having a dairy half a mile away. Half mile away is a good distance to have a dairy.
Okay, Don Gowan said, I know kids will be kids and do and say silly things and interrupt. It's normal, but I'm so happy to see y'all teaching the girls so many lives still that will go with them for the rest of their life. All right, Albany Mountain Homestead said, Willow Creek Homestead, you just have to jump in and try. My only issue is being able to make a new batch from an old batch. Yeah. So what do we want to do for New Year's then? We want to do something fun?
Do anything? Paige is making faces in the camera.
No faces in the camera, you know.
You guys can do whatever you want as long as you guys leave Paige and me with a movie to watch.
So Wholesome Roots, what she said is exactly right. If you add a little bit of rennet to your milk when you're doing yogurt, it does make it set better. But we have found we haven't needed to add it. With the Kosori, we haven't had to add rennet, and it is set up very, very well.
Sometimes it'll be clumpy. But not,
that was because it was whole milk.
The yogurt actually has butter in it.
When we used a cow's milk that had cream on the top, then we ended up getting cooked butter as a layer in the yogurt. But now that we're using the cheaper stuff that's just whole milk that's been homogenized, you don't get lumps in it. It's just yogurt.
I prefer it with the butter.
But Kaya really likes it with the chunks of butter in it. So
me too.
I'm starting to get over socialized by closeness to children.
Everybody really just kind of closing in on you.
Everybody's closing in on me.
And she still makes faces.
Let's see.
I'm doing a buddy face.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sherry Ellison said non-dairy requires fresh culture each time. Cannot reuse same from a prior batch. So maybe I asked this before, Sherry. Was it coconut milk that you were using for your non-dairy yogurt? Because I think that's fascinating. Viewers of you said, I love the butter too. Yeah, the really thick cream on the top when you make yogurt, it is delicious. Willow Creek Homestead said chunks of butter. If you want to, Willow Creek, you can go on eBay and they have those cream separators that we have used, and they're fantastic so that you can make butter out of your goat's milk. And your girls have enough butter fat in their milk that they will make you a lot of butter. I think the last time I looked, they were $80 and then like $30 shipping. But if you want cream from your goat's milk, it's amazing.
Sherry says it cannot work with almond milk. It has to be coconut milk.
Coconut milk. So where do you find your coconut milk that it's inexpensive enough that you can afford it?
Cashew milk
Sherry?
Works well. Almost any nut butter except almond. That's awesome.
Not almond. Okay. It sounds delicious. Gypsy Lee said, Julie, I have a pretty painted jar labeled all good things that I add happy things to all year round. And on New Year's Eve, I read all the good things that have happened all year. Traditions. Oh, what a good idea.
Hashtag traditions.
We were talking about that this morning. We like to follow the girl that says Truth Bombs on Facebook. Kaczynski, I think is her last name. And she said that's what she would do every night. She would go on her phone and she would write something good that happened that day. And it couldn't be something general like I have a roof over my head. It had to be something legitimately good that happened that day. And we thought, I try to do that when I say my prayers at night. It's one of those things that I need to find something here that I'm really grateful for. But writing it down I think would be kind of fun too. The cold is a good thing?
I was joking.
Oh, gotcha.
This was sarcasm.
A view said, I only know about if from Whole Foods. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I'm missing something.
No, you aren't.
No, I did. I missed all sorts of comments. Okay.
Oh, she says all these has it. The coconut milk.
Oh, we were in there the other night. I came out with chicken sausage. What?
And eggs. And so pre-chicken sausage.
Chubby Dude said pressure cooking Southerners will help make them tender.
Really? Southerners are kind of tough otherwise?
Pressure cooking Southerners
funny.
will help make them tender?
Yes, that was
Are you talking
funny.
about eating people?
That was hilarious.
Stop. I didn't read everybody's comments. Oh my goodness. Dad is a troublemaker. Okay, B Lady April said, Wholesome Roots, hi, what is your plan for so many goats? Well, they only have 2 goats. Great, I did. Okay, Chris Florio said, are you using the wood stove from your video where Honeydew Carpenter installed, and how do you like it? We didn't bring it with us because it got really hot. That stove was really hot. And it was the reason why we were building the bench was to deflect the heat into the rocks so that so that the heat came out slowly instead of quickly, because it was still a tiny house, and we would have liked to have brought it, but we were in a rental and the landlord wasn't comfortable with us using it here. So it's back home, and Honeydew Carpenter is actually still tinkering with it. Stop going so fast. Stop going so fast.
No, once it hits the bottom, then that button disappears and it starts going.
Wholesome Root said, we're hoping to get sales going this year for pet milk. That's awesome. That's what we sold it for back home, and it still sold for $6 a gallon. So
scooted the screen down. So
I didn't.
Heads are all chopped off.
Well, you can put it up like that.
I'll make my head drop down.
Here, let's double check and see if we're still in the frame. Oh, we're not.
Okay.
We're not really still in the frame. Okay.
My head's chopped off.
Annalise says, has anyone mixed goat and cow milk for butter? I didn't, because the colors are different. Like, you've got the cow cream is yellow and the goat cream is white, and they set at different pressures. I always did my butter inside a blender because it's pressurized. It happens much faster. But generally, it's difficult to tell when the cream comes if you've mixed them, because they come at different speeds and different pressure. And so you're looking for something different with yellow cow cream than you are when you're looking at white goat cream. But with both, I use blenders. Oh, Wholesome Roots has 20 goats.
This one.
I thought you were talking about Willow Creek.
That 0 doesn't mean anything.
Oh, Wholesome Roots said pet milk is what the government makes us label our raw milk in order to sell it. Gotcha. Ours is pretty straightforward back home. We don't even label it. We just sell it in gallons back home as just, you have to use this for pets. And AG Survival said, I wouldn't even know what to do with raw milk, and my wife would probably leave with our son and claim I've gone crazy. Gotcha.
Why?
Gypsy Lee said, Southerners are like a cup of tea. Put them in hot water and they just get stronger. I love it. Flying VS Farm said, raw goat's milk equals heaven. We've had some really nasty stuff, though. Like at the butcher down the street, we tried their raw goat's milk, and
it tasted like our first goat.
It was so
we
bad.
We went over to a friend's place, and they had us try some store-bought milk, and it tasted bitter.
It was terrible. It was so terrible.
What we really need
Besides our goats, I've never tasted good goat's milk since I was a kid. I've only ever had nasty goat's milk, with the exception of our goats that we have now. Our first goats were terrible. It took us forever to find our goats.
Yes.
When I was a kid, all the goat's milk I'd ever drunk was wonderful, delicious, and sweet, and never had any kind of goaty flavor. But I don't know what's wrong with goats nowadays. But
these goats nowadays,
they
just don't have a meaning of milk.
No, they're
flavor.
They're awful. They're just awful.
Can you get me my turtle?
They don't work.
No.
They just lay around tweeting all day.
Yeah, Wholesome Rut said no one uses it for pets. So that's so true. You know, the thing is, I'm always hesitant to get milk from somebody if their family doesn't drink it themselves. And I've known dairies where they go and they buy their milk and they don't drink their own milk, and that sends up all sorts of red flags for me.
Happy folks, it's now legal in Arkansas to sell raw milk from the farm for human consumption, away from farm at market if it needs to be.
It's legal or illegal?
At market,
away from farm at market, it needs to be pasteurized or sold as pet milk. So if you buy it on the farm, you can drink it as a human.
That's still awesome. You know how many trips we'd be making after the farm?
Well, Wholesome Roots, it only tastes bad if it's mishandled, and I totally disagree with that, because we had goats on our farm where we handled it exactly the same.
The only way to get it drinkable was literally milk, strain
It
as
still
fast as
wasn't.
you
No,
can
it
and
still
throw
wasn't
it in the
drinkable.
freezer.
It still wasn't drinkable.
No,
Not
it
from
wasn't
Hansel.
like great at all.
Not from Hansel, it wasn't. And we went,
It was
we
miserable.
had, well, and maybe that's true of some of these other dairies, because for us, it mattered what the breed was and what herd they came from, because we had 6 or 7 goats that we bought over the years when we first started with them on our homestead. I grew up with goats, and our milk tasted good. We had a couple goats. They were from the same genetic line, and their milk was nasty, and they would always get mastitis. And one was a mother, one was a daughter, so they were related to each other. The rest of our goats, the milk was good, but these 2, it was terrible, and they always got mastitis. Now, we had our own goats, so we started with them. The first 6 goats, we had one that tasted good, but her milk output was really low. Emerald, her milk was delicious, but our other 5 goats, it was disgusting. It was so bad. It was like skunk. And then we found the goats that we have now.
Goat. Yeah.
What?
Nothing. It's skunk. I'm like, no, wrong animal.
No, it was
Goat.
like, it tasted like skunk.
The stuff that
But
we
then-
had at
But then we had, well, and see, the thing is, so Halsmer says then the goat was sick. So we had my first goat, her name was Freckles, and she was from the same herd as those that tasted terrible, but she was from a different line. Same farm, same owner, but completely different lines.
Patrick's asking if it was a Nubian. That was a La Mancha, weren't they?
No, she was a mini Alpine. Or no, she was a La Mancha. She was a mini La Mancha.
Yep.
The really rancid, nasty one. But the others didn't really taste that good either. The others that we had, they didn't taste that good. But we had one, she was a mini Alpine, and she tasted wonderful. But then we had a full-size Alpine, and she tasted terrible. And so in the end, because we had some animals that we bought from the same herd, when I was a kid, one had amazing milk, but she was from a different line. And then we had the other 2 that were from a different line, and their teats were tight. They gave tons of milk, but their teats were tight, and their milk was disgusting.
Say it again.
It was so gross. I have such a thing about this because when we first got into goats,
Yes.
as a married, like as a family, I was so disappointed. It broke my heart that we had these goats, that we loved their personality. We got them inexpensively, and yet their milk was disgusting. She never had mastitis. She was not sick, but her milk tasted terrible. We did have some goats that, yes, they got mastitis frequently. We ended up selling them to people who wanted to use them to raise calves. And we told them up front, you know, she gets mastitis a lot. The goats we have now, they never get mastitis. They are thin-skinned, which means that you have to be really careful about how you treat their udders. But their milk is always delicious.
And they produce a good.
And they
bit.
produce a lot of milk. And so just because of, and there for a while when we didn't have goats, we tried to buy it from other herds that were around us. And it was so bad. It was so bad.
Rebecca's signing off. Night, Rebecca. Happy New Year.
Bye, Rebecca.
So.
Mr. Rain said, have you guys thought about getting a miniature cow for milking? We did have a miniature cow. And she was a zebu. And we bred her with a low-line Angus. And when we bred her with the low-line Angus, the calf was born. He was teensy tiny. And there was enough milk for him to nurse, but there wasn't enough milk left over for us to milk. So to me, it just made a lot more sense just to have our dairy goats, that each of our goats gave us at least 2 gallons of milk
So
a day.
this isn't finished.
And
Well,
they were easier
They give
to.
a half gallon each time, so they give us a gallon.
No, that was at the tail end with chamomile.
Okay. Yeah, and anyway, our entire herd would go through.
That was
as
after
much,
she'd been milking for a year.
And our entire herd would go through as much hay as one cow would.
Well, we only ever kept 3 goats around. One was bred, one was milking, and the other one was a backup. So we had 3 goats.
Sounds like Willow Creek's out. Night, sir.
Not Willow Creek.
Did we go? We've been on for an hour.
Wait, because view just pointed out there's only 98 thumbs up. We need to get to 100. So,
We need
yeah,
2
happy
more
New Year's,
thumbs up.
everybody. Somebody, I don't remember who was watching in Norway. They have an hour left till New Year's. Thanks, Sally and a C. Anyway, yeah, happy New Year to you guys. There we go. See? 100 thumbs up. Patrick's good points on having the multiple milkers.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
let's see, we hit 100. We can, so if you'd like.
Okay.
So,
We're off.
so, thanks, guys. Happy New Year.
See ya.